Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. It's Crypto Lamb here, the YouTuber for Profit Sniper, the official trading group of Keith's Crypto Trades. I need to work on an intro, that's a bit crap really, but you know, it is what it is, it is what it is. So today I have a little bit of a different video. I said yesterday that BTC is dead, and well, all you have to do is look at the chart. In fact, let's do that now. Let's go to the charts and take a look at Bitcoin. Yeah, we splash. So Bitcoin took a little bit of a tumble, and some people have obviously lost out. There's been numerous liquidations across the board, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, I think, or I hope rather, that according to this baseline, that we are potentially looking at already being pretty much at the bottom there, I would hope. And if we do fall further, then we are potentially looking at 35k. Let's go to the day view. I don't think that's the case. I think we're going to be fairly solid here, but if we are to drop a little bit further, maybe 42. Yeah, 42, something like that. But some people have said 35, 34. It's not out with the realms of possibility. It is possible. Anything is possible. But we have hit quite a significant area here where Bitcoin will probably settle before we start another journey and another leg up. So for now, I think it really is a case of, rather than being doom and gloom and thinking that we have dropped and Bitcoin is dead and bags have lost and all that sort of stuff, don't be an over leveraged longs with Bitcoin right now. Instead, what you probably want to do is just keep loading your bags up, keep accumulating. Once we go down to 34, 35, wherever it wants to settle, make sure that you have accumulated and bought in, and then you start to go long if you are leverage trading, because ultimately the pattern will repeat. I don't think we're going to go as low as 34. Some people are saying 35, 34, but I don't think so. I think we're pretty much near the bottom now, maybe 41, 42k, something like that, before we do a little bit of a UE and then we start to go up again ultimately. But the thing about TA most of the time is it is a suggestion more than anything else, and you can make some fairly accurate price predictions if you're using certain charting platforms and taking a look at order flow and various other things. So you can be as accurate as you want to be, but ultimately the price will still do whatever the fuck it wants. There is a lot of things outside realms of control for anyone that will say, okay, well, here's the pattern, here is the chart pattern, this is what's going to happen. Nobody can really do that, and some people can be more accurate. I don't profess to be the most accurate in any way, shape, or form. I have my moments where I can be very, very, very good, and then other times where I'm completely wrong. So it's like looking at the hour view, for example. I suggested that the pattern the other day may be a cup and a handle. It was this one here. Let me just highlight it here. So it was a member of our community, Profit Sniper group, that said that looks like a cup and handle, but then the pattern failed, and then we started to creep up again, and it just dumped. So ultimately, you could argue, say, well, that's a cup and handle pattern, which is typically a bullish pattern, or you could say, we went into a W, which can also be a bit of a bullish pattern, and then you have obviously this descending wedge that we were in here, and that can typically be a bullish pattern too, with a breakout leading up. But all three of those patterns, if you were watching those patterns, and you trade by chart patterns, with the W you would have been wrong, with the cup and handle you would have been wrong, with the wedge you would have been wrong, and ultimately a lot of people would have been caught out by that. And the truth is, when you see one pattern fail on a certain time frame and then you see another pattern fail on a certain time frame, that should probably tell you that overall it's going to fail. And just feeding purely off of hopium and hoping that it's going to do a U-turn because of something you want it to do is really not going to work for you in the long run. So really, you need to trade the price action, not ape into trades. Don't go too hard. Don't overexpose. Manage your risk appropriately. And, or sometimes just wait. Just wait for the market to do its thing before you end up going into a trade. It's like what I'm talking about with a W, for example. Here's an example of a W that broke out and went up. Here is an example of, and then this is purely crude, but here's an example of an M that failed. They're just a couple of examples, but, ultimately here is an example of a W that failed, or a cup and handle, or a wedge. So, sometimes chart patterns can be very 50-50 for the most part, but when the market is doing what it is supposed to be doing, then some of those patterns can be accurately followed and for the most part, relied upon. Just right now, that is not the case. And as I said yesterday, it looks like we are potentially in an alt season. And I said yesterday as well that I'm going to be looking at the top 5. Did I say top 5, or did I just invent that today? I may have just invented that today. I think the top 5 alts for people to be looking at, but I decided to do it a little bit of a difference, because you get a lot of YouTubers that will go and take a look at alts, and they'll enter those based on market cap and so many other factors, and take a look at tokenomics and things like that. I've decided that I'm going to be completely different, and I'm going to ignore all of those things. I'm not going to look at market cap. I'm not going to look at the tokenomics. Quite simply because I don't give a shit about all of those things. What I give a shit about is the project that is behind said tokens. Now, granted, please, I am late to the party when it comes to blockchain gaming. I am late to the party when it comes to NFTs. I'm very late to the party when it comes to all of these things. So please don't shoot me. This morning, when I was going through some of these projects, like Mana, for example, I was blown away. Completely blown away. I've taken some recordings of what I found this morning, and I'm going to start showing those clips in a minute. Some of those things didn't really yield anything that I could show other than downloading a wallet, claiming a free NFT, which all of you can do. Obviously, I'll leave links in the description for that as well. But ultimately, I kind of rediscovered, I didn't rediscover, I discovered a world in crypto that I just was not expecting to see this early on. Arguably, I feel like I've struck gold, I think. So it's like when you see a lot of tokens, and unfortunately, I've been in situations where I've bought a token, like many other people have, and they promise a project, it's not very managed very well, and then ultimately it just ends up being a complete flop. So you invest a load of money into something. I invested 20 grand last year into something that flopped and failed hard. And I lost it all. I lost all 20 grand. And, I'm sure that's a familiar story to a lot of people as well. Rug pulls, essentially, that happen. And, some people, not some people, a lot of people ultimately have lost a lot of money because of so-called rug pulls. People going into projects that promise one thing, don't deliver, and just take the money and run. And those things are just utterly shite. And just really bad. Really bad. So I'm taking a punt on some of these things, but I decided to do a little bit of research behind each one of them before I did so. And some of them I will be revisiting very, very hard to see what is available to them. If you can hear squeaking in the background, I do apologize. Basically, there is an issue with the water pressure or something, and all you hear is the wee, wee, wee as the valve opens and then closes. It's really annoying, especially when you're trying to do a video. So anyway, yeah, I decided to take a look at Mana first of all, and I'm going to start playing the clip for Mana now. So this is a pre-recorded clip of me trying out Mana's new product, which is I forgive me for this, but the only way that I can really describe mana is essentially by being kind of like Second Life. If you've ever played Second Life, ever, then, you know, like me, you would have discovered that there is so many different parcels of land that you can visit that all have different themes, and different just things in general. Whoa. That you can join in on, and there's so many things that happen in Second Life. You get people that go in and play live music. You get people that sing. There's some dark parts of it as well, admittedly, where there is some other shady shit that goes on. But ultimately, Second Life is what it is on the tin. Essentially, you can go in and have a second life. Mana, I would kind of put in kind of the same category as that. You can customize your avatar, you can buy unique things, you can even buy your unique name. There's just so many things that you can do, and of course all of this is run with NFTs, non-fungible tokens, so you can essentially own for real all of these things. Well, I say for real digitally, but for real, yeah, it gives you a headache, but you can own items of clothing. Towards the end of the clip, I find a pair of Bitcoin glasses. Like, you can own those and they're yours. You can find unique items, common items, that kind of stuff. But ultimately, you can trade those things for real cash. You can trade those things for real, money that you can then bring out into the real world, and it becomes a tangible thing. You can buy parcels of land. You could potentially set up businesses within, this so-called MMO RPG / free open world RCE economy. All of these different things. The potential for mana is huge, absolutely huge, and I think when more people start waking up to RCEs and blockchain games in general, there will be a huge, huge explosion. And right now, it seems to be very quiet. It seems to be very, just like, I don't know. There should be way, way more people looking at these things. And I'll give you an example. When you look at Second Life, for example, which has hundreds of thousands of players from around the world, they can use real US dollar and buy dollars in the game, and that's something that's been around for 15, 20 years, something like that, but it was never tied to the blockchain. So, ultimately you relied on their systems to keep everybody honest and keep everything working correctly. So when it comes down to it, you can't take things in and out of game, you can't trade them as such. I mean, you can within the game, but with games like this, you can ultimately trade these NFTs and so on and so forth, and the prices will fluctuate with the market. Not always a good thing, but not a bad thing either. It's I'm sorry if I'm butchering this, but I'm actually really excited for it. There's another game called Entropia Universe. Entropia Universe is a game that I've played for the last 10, 15 years, something like that. I bought my first car because of that game. The cats are playing with the curtains. So I bought my first first car because of that game. And, it has a real cash economy where you can go in and kill and hunt monsters and things like that. But it didn't have blockchain technology behind it, and it still doesn't. So I think ultimately something like that is what we're looking at with mana, essentially. And I think there's going to be a lot of hardcore players that have played games like this for many, many, many years that are going to start making the switch to blockchain games. And I just don't see any other direction other than up for a lot of these things. The second one that I'm going to go and look at is Axie. Again, an interesting game where you can battle little monsters in the story world. I couldn't get any footage of the game, but if the website is anything to go by, which you should be looking at now, then it looks absolutely incredible. I downloaded the software for it to try and play it, it wouldn't let me. It's called the Mavis Hub or something like that. And it downloaded it for Mac OS, but it ran on my Windows PC. Or at least the login page for it did. It loaded and ran on my PC despite being a Mac OS file. So I'm a bit confused as to how or why that happened, but, it happened. So even though it says Mac OS, it does seem to work on Windows. So that's an interesting one. The next one that I then took a look at was SLP. SLP is Smooth Love Potion. And I went over to this website here, Zipmex, and it says you can't buy love, but you can buy Smooth Love Potion. And Smooth Love Potion is from, I've been saying Axis, it's Axie Infinity. I do apologize. So it tells you all about the game Axie Infinity and his one of the little monsters from the game, stuff like that. It's almost like Pokemon. I would describe it to, or somewhere between Pokemon and Animal Crossing, I think is probably the best way to look at it. Anyway, the tokens that are used in the game, the currency used in the game is SLP. So you have the Axie token, which I've got a trade on right now, but you also have SLP, which is required to play the game, and at the moment that is worth $0.02. Now, ultimately, you can arguably say, well, obviously they're going to want to keep that as cheap as possible. But when you see where it's come from, I think it's massively undervalued right now. I think we will see huge surges in price for things like this because they are required in the game. So people will be looking to buy this token so that they can play the game. So go long, This is the one that's given me the wildest swings at the moment in terms of my trade. I went long on it with DCA above my liquidation, and it's swinging between 3% in the profit to 4% out of profit and backwards and forwards, and that's obvious to me that somebody is, or a group of people are playing the game and using this potion. So it is jumping in and out of profit left, right, and center. So that's you're looking normally when you trade tokens and other things like that, you will see the price fluctuate because people are buying and selling the token. But in this case, the dynamic is different because people are using that token in a game that already exists. So that's adding to the dynamic once again. And then you have Enjin. Enjin is an interesting one. It's not a game. It is an NFT platform, a little bit like OpenSea, I guess. And I went to the website and it asked me to download a wallet, and in return I would receive a free NFT. I don't know if you can see my screen too well right now, but I received this NFT, which is currently worth 0.00045 JENG. So I opened up the wallet, and it just kind of opened up another side to NFTs that I haven't seen before. So I highly suggest you go and check that out. And there's other linked projects with it as well, and you can learn all about that through the app. So I received a free NFT this morning for that. And then, there's just so much behind all of these really, really cool projects, and I'm super excited to see where they go. One of the projects that I've been talking about in the last couple of videos is one called VMates. And VMates is a virtual pet kind of NFT game. And I don't know a huge amount about it right now. I was only interested in the token, but my mind is now a lot more open when it comes to that stuff. And I will be doing significantly more research on VMates. And I will also be doing a video on the VMates game when it is launched. So watch this space on that. I will be covering that. And that is something that you can get into now as well by heading over to PancakeSwap, buying yourself some mate tokens, and just holding on for now. Because whilst a lot of people, and this is the thing that really fucking pisses me off about the crypto space, you see a project like Axie or Mana that pop up, and people will get into the token and they will start to hold the token and things like that, and they expect it to moon within 10 minutes, and then they sell, tanking the price of the token. and not really giving a crap about the project behind it. And that really irritates me, purely because we could be achieving so many great things, so many projects that could be coming to fruition, but so many people are just dumping on it and not looking at, the potential behind the project. Now, that mentality does come from a lot of scams that were out there and a lot of rug pulls that have happened to people, and that's ultimately where that comes from. So I can't blame people, but if you're going to invest in something, do your damn research. Don't just ape into something and expect it to moon within 10 minutes. That's insane. When you go into some of these Telegram groups, you just see FUD, with people turning around saying, why is the price going down? Why are people selling? Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, listen, if you stop adding to the FUD and actually do some research and help promote the project, then you will end up making your own bags healthier. Win-win, Get in early, wait, help promote, and grow. Or buy it with your life savings and then FUD the price down. It doesn't make sense. Why do people do that? So yeah, if that pisses me off, I'm sure it pisses so many other people off too. This video is now already 20 minutes long. So, just to recap, I've showed you those projects and, my reasons for picking those. But they're incredible launch pads. They're incredible examples of the technology that can be achieved with blockchain, NFTs, and all of this kind of stuff. So they are my top 5 picks. I possibly didn't talk about sand, but that's okay. It's good. Check it out. Do your research on it. I kind of threw myself into the deep end this morning. My brain is completely flustered with it all, but check them all out. They are amazing. Enjin is great wallet. Check it out. Axie Infinity looks like an amazing game. Sand, I can't remember. Fail. I'll take a look at it again. I promise. Sorry. Mana is a great example. Again, I was completely blown away by Mana purely because there was no client to download. It's all through browser. I've never, ever seen a game with that level of detail and quality. Now, okay, from the video, you might arguably say, well, it looks shit. It's not exactly Call of Duty. Okay, fine. It's not a AAA title that you can shoot your way through a storyline. It's like, you'll pay 60, 70 pounds or dollars on a new AAA title from a game that you get a few hours of enjoyment back in return. Whereas with something like this, you can genuinely make considerable money over a period of time, and it's practically free for you to get in the first place. So Mana, for me, is by far, out of all of these, it has the biggest potential. So Mana for me is going to be one to watch for sure. SLP, like I said, that is the token used for Axie Infinity. Smooth Love Potion. Love the name. So yeah, that's going to go up as well. I think right now it's tanking on me, so -4%. So I am long on all of these. Just to explain that quickly, I'm long on every single one of these with various leverage, if you like. So 3x, 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 2x, and 2x on all of them. And I have $53 on that one, $63 on that one, 75 on that one, 90 and 46 on that one and that one. So what I've done is I've opened a long on those leverages, 2x and 3x, with that amount of USDT. All of them are long, none of them are short. And what I've done is I've taken the liquidation price of every single one of those, and I've then placed another order. So if you look at Mana, for example, if I go here, there we go. If we click on Mana, so here is Mana right now. I believe personally massively undervalued, hugely undervalued for what it is. When you go to the Mana website, and all of the links are going to be in the description, by the way, so please check out the description. Take a look at these. Mana, I think, will explode. There's no way it can't. It's huge. Just go and take a look at it. I think there's going to be a lot of people buying a lot of Mana very, 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 very soon. get involved, invest in a huge, huge project. I am not being paid for this, by the way. I am not in any of the mana groups. I have not been offered any money to shill any of these things. I'm just looking at this from a normal human being's perspective and what I think has the most potential. I could be wrong. Don't shoot me if it fails. But I've gone long on all of these, and I've set orders above them. So if we take a look, I have an order here at $2. So if we were to drop to $2, my DCA, my dollar cost average, will fill and ultimately give me a little bit of a buffer there so that we can continue up. But ultimately, all of these trades, I would imagine, from here, as Bitcoin starts to give us a little bit of a bounce when it eventually reaches the bottom, all of these will start to improve in price, and they are fluctuating in and out of profit constantly, and we will take a look at what happens over time with these, and I will come back with tomorrow's video and update you on how I'm doing on all of these trades, whether they are all negative or whether they are going positive. So check those out, and if there is a game, a blockchain game that I haven't covered in this, or a token that is attached to an NFT project or game, please let me know in the comments below if you want me to check it out, and we will see where it's going. So I'm kind of moving away from the traditional alts that really don't have much of a project behind it that's going to do too great. I just, if there is a really good project, I'll take a look at it, of course, but ultimately I'm seeing 5 projects here that actually have bloody cats, do you mind? That actually have something behind them so that we can, actually reap the rewards of those. So check out the links in the description. Go and try some of these things out for yourself. I don't have any affiliate links down there for those games. Nothing. I'm literally being paid nothing for these. I am going into these with the same amount of knowledge as you. So I highly recommend that you go out and do your own research and take a look at these things. But my favorite on this is definitely mana so far. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this has been helpful. This is a nearly 30-minute video. I do apologize. But thanks for sitting here watching me waffle. But please like and subscribe. Let's grow this channel. Let's grow the awareness for some more of these games and technologies that are coming out, because they're simply amazing. And I will do my best to deliver as much quality content as I possibly can. For now, the thing that you want to concentrate on is either holding these tokens or trading them like I am now, and taking advantage of the fact that we are early to all of this, because later, over the next couple of years, they will explode. So fill up your bags with all of this stuff, especially the metaverse stuff, NFTs. Grab all of the things, and don't consider selling any of these things. Consider them a long-term investment. So just hold, accumulate, and build. And then potentially build your own wealth later, because these things will be huge. So anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share the video, and as always, take care. Catch you later.